Being smart isn't about what you know. It's about what you see, and most people are blind. They miss the signals. They repeat the same cycles. They blame the world and call it bad luck. But some people, they always seem 3 steps ahead. Not louder, not faster, just sharper. They don't need to talk much. They don't need the spotlight. Their intelligence is quiet but powerful. Today, you're going to learn how they think and why it quietly makes them more powerful than 95% of the world. What if being smart isn't about grades, memory, or trivia, but perception? Think about it. You've seen people with straight A's who panic at life's first punch. You've seen the geniuses with master's degrees who can't keep a relationship. That's because intelligence isn't about how much you know. It's about how deeply you see. It's the ability to step back and notice what others ignore, to find calm when others lose it, to connect dots no one even sees. Einstein once said, "The measure of intelligence is the ability to change, but to change, you first have to see what others are blind to. You have to stop reacting and start observing." Because the smartest people in the room aren't always the loudest. They reach just seeing the whole chessboard, while others are still focused on the last move. Most people go through life like pinballs, bouncing from one thing to another, wondering why they feel so lost. They fail a test and break down, get ghosted and spiral, lose a job and question their entire worth. But sharp thinkers? They zoom out. They don't see one moment. They study the entire system. They ask, what's the pattern here? What keeps repeating? What am I doing to contribute to this? They don't just see a breakup as the end. They ask why they keep dating the same type. They don't cry over every failure. They extract feedback. They treat life like an experiment, not a soap opera. And that shift from reacting to observing, that's real power. So next time life hits you, ask yourself this. What's the pattern I keep repeating? What's the lesson the universe is whispering that I keep ignoring? Most people fear uncertainty, so they cling to the first answer they find. But here's the twist. The smartest minds are addicted to questions, not conclusions. They live in the unknown. They ask, what else could be true? What am I not seeing? What assumptions am I carrying from childhood? They're not afraid to be wrong. They're afraid of staying blind. Voltaire once said, "Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers." And he was right. Because every breakthrough in science, relationships, career, it starts with one person who dared to ask a better question. Comment below. What's a question that changed the way you see life? Maybe it was, what if I'm not broken? I'm just healing. Or, what would happen if I stopped trying to prove my worth? Whatever it is, share it. Because asking the right question is how we all grow. Let me tell you a secret. Most people don't have thoughts. Their thoughts have them. They believe every emotion, every fear, every intrusive voice that whispers, "You're not good enough." But smart minds don't argue with every thought. They don't believe them. They observe them. They create space. They say, "This is anxiety, not me." They don't suppress the fear, but they don't become it either. It's the difference between being inside the storm and watching it through a window. And that distance, that ability to observe before reacting, it is what separates wise people from impulsive ones. Real strength isn't fighting every thought. It's learning from them without letting them control you. You ever meet someone who tries to sound smart by using big words, but says absolutely nothing? That's because complexity isn't intelligence. Simplicity is. Truly smart people make the complicated feel clear. They explain things in ways a child could understand. Steve Jobs said, "Simple can be harder than complex." You have to work hard to get your thinking clean to make it simple. And that's what real thinkers do. They cut through the noise, because the truth doesn't need to be dressed up. It just needs to be understood. If you can't explain something simply, you probably don't understand it deeply. So next time you find yourself overwhelmed by chaos, ask, how can I make this simpler? That's not dumbing it down. That's sharpening your mind. Ever notice how the most intelligent people don't freak out when things go wrong? They stay calm. They pause. They think. Because in chaos, your pause is your power. Most people react instantly, emotionally. But when you buy time, when you breathe before speaking, you shift the outcome. You don't ignite the fire, you contain it. That's what smart minds do. They regulate the temperature of the room by controlling the temperature within. Because calm is contagious. And in a storm, the calmest person is the one others follow. So here's a trick. The next time your emotions rise, don't respond immediately. Wait. Breathe. Say less. In that space, your intelligence speaks louder than any reaction ever could. We live in a world that rewards noise, shouting, posting, arguing. But quiet intelligence? That's the real flex. It doesn't demand attention. It earns it. It doesn't need to be right. It wants to understand. It doesn't memorize. It sees. Ask better questions. Zoom out. Stay calm. Detach from noise. Simplify. That's the mindset that outlasts trends, breaks cycles, and builds legacies. Because while others are chasing approval, the quiet mind is building vision. And when that vision is clear, everything else starts to make sense. You don't need to shout to be heard. You just need to see what others miss. That's what makes you smarter than most. Not because you're better, but because you chose to see. And that changes everything. If this video sparked something in you, even just a little shift, comment below. I choose clarity over noise. Let the world chase chaos. You build the mind that stays still. Subscribe, because this journey isn't over. It's just beginning.